It's amazing, and all the leaders that I've coached over the years, and even assessing and looking back over my own leadership experiences, how often people fail to set clear expectations. What's interesting when I'm coaching leaders is I'll say, well, what have you done to set expectations? And often they'll say, well, I gave them a job description when they started a few years ago, or I shared with them the department goals. So, yeah, I think they know pretty well what they need to be doing. I ask them how things are going. I check in with them on different tasks. So, we assume a lot in this space in terms of what a clear expectation is and what people actually need in the space of setting clear expectations. So one of the things that I think is really a key strategy with this is one is getting clear about your expectations and that you're focusing in on, hey, I'm going to set who I need, what I need to be done, what my expectation is, what good looks like is a question that I often work really intentionally with my team. And then when I'm coaching folks to make sure that their team knows. So what does good look like? Hey, Heather, I've asked you to do this. Here's what good looks like to me. Because often there's a variety of different assumptions on their part and your part about what good looks like, if it is or if it isn't. And then the other thing is to ask them to say, so you've had a conversation, you've shared some of the things that you wanted them to be doing, or you've been asking them about something that you think an expectation's clear, and ask them and say, hey, what do you feel like my expectations are of you for this particular work? I'm curious if I've communicated it well. I'm curious if we're on the same page, and let them rephrase that back and ask some probing questions. So if they say, well, I'm supposed to do this and this by this date, and you might say, oh, okay, great. Do you need some other people to be involved in that, or do you feel like you can accomplish it on your own? If you're expecting collaboration, this is a good understanding. And you're not testing them. They need to feel like that you really are curious if you got it right or not. That it's more about you assessing your communication than it is any kind of question around their ability to understand. And so when you're actually having those open sets of dialogue, what starts to happen is in your next conversation where you're handing something off, you're more intentional about being clear, that you are thinking, oh, well, last time they didn't get the who and they didn't get the collaboration piece. So I'm going to add that in. So you improve. And then they also start to understand and expect what typically comes out of your mouth. I'll find that if I, make a flippant delegation, or I just say, oh gosh, could you please help me on this? Okay, great. I'll have folks on my team that know, hey, who do you want me to work with? Like what's good look like to you, Heather? When do you need this by? What do you expect for draft 1 or draft 2? And they're actually asking my same questions back at me, which is such a win. So setting clear expectations makes all the difference. And knowing how to do it will make your life and their lives a lot easier.